Acts 17. Diodeusantes tetern amphipolin, gaitern Apollonian, Ölton es Thessalonica. Having passed through the Amphipolin and the Apollonian, they came into Thessalonica. Hopu synagogen ton Yehudaion, where there was a synagogue of the Yehudim. Katateto eotos, toi pauloi, eselten prosautus, kai episabbata tria, dielexato autois apoton grapon. And according to the custom of Paul, he went in to them, and upon 3 Shabbaths he was speaking, conversing with them from the scriptures. Dianoigon kai paratitemenos, hotiton Christon ede paten kai anasternai ek necron. Opening up and setting forth that the Anointed One, it was necessary for him to suffer and to rise from dead ones. Kai hoti hu tosestin Christos Iesus, honego katangelo humin, and that this is anointed Yeshua, whom I am proclaiming to you. Kaitines exauton epes tersan, kai proseklerotersan, toi pauloi kai toi silai. And some of them were persuaded, and they were allotted to Paul and Silas. Don desebomenon helenon blötos polygynaikon don proton oligai, of those God-fearing Greeks, devout Greeks, a great multitude of women, both of women and of both of chief women, and of chief women, not a few. Zelosantes de hoi Yehudaioi, kai proslabomenoi ton agoraion tinas andras ponerus, kai oklotpoiesantes etoribun tön polin. But having become jealous or zealous, the Jews also having taken to themselves of the marketplaces, of the market frequenters, some men, evil men, bad men, and having gathered a crowd, they were being tumultuous. They were making the city tumultuous. Kai epistantes tei oikiai iasonos, Exertun autus prosagagen eston dermon. And having stood upon the house of Yason, they were seeking them to bring them forth into the people. Me heuronteste autus esuron Iasona gaitinas adelpus epitus politarchas. Not having found them, they were dragging Iason and some brothers upon the rulers of the city rulers. Poontes hoti hoitön oikumenön anastatosantes huutoi kai entsade paresin. Crying out that those having troubled, having stirred up the inhabited earth, these ones also are here, are present, have arrived here, are coming here. The ones who've troubled all the inhabited earth, they're coming here too. That's what they're saying about these apostles. Whose hypodedectai Iason, whom Iason hath received, kai hutoi pantes apenanti ton dogmaton kaisaros prassusin. And all these are against the decrees of Caesar. They were effectuating against the decrees of Caesar. They are doing against the decrees of Caesar. You're right. I like that they're really interested in their disobedience against Caesar. They're just trying to get these people in trouble. Basilea heteron legonte senai Yeshun, saying another king to be Yeshua. Etaraxan deton oklon kaitus politarchas aguontas tauta. And they were troubled, and they troubled the crowd and the city rulers, hearing these things. Kai labontes to hikanon para tu Iasonos, kai ton loipon apelysan autus, and having taken the worthy amount, the sufficiency from Iason, also of the rest, they loosed them. Hoide adel poi euteos dia nyktos exepemsan ton te Paulon kai ton Silan esperoian. But the brothers immediately, through the night, they sent out Paulos and Silas into Beroia. Hoitines paragenomenoi estön synagogen ton Jehudaion apöjesan, which, having gone by out of the synagogue, or having gone by into the synagogue of the Yehudim, they were departing. huutoi de ösan eugenesteroi. Ton en Thessalonicae. But these ones were more noble than those in Thessalonica. Hoitines edexanto ton logon metapases protumias, which these ones received the word with all readiness, eagerness. Katemeran anakrinontes tas grapas e ekoi tauta hutos. According to daily, reading the scriptures, if these things thus held would be holding, if these things thus would be holding, testing, does it fit? Is it congruent with what we know from the scriptures? Polloimen un exauton episteusan. Therefore, on the one hand, many of them believed. Gaiton Hellenidon Gunaikon. And of the Greek women, Don Euskermonon Gai Andron Ukoligoi. Of the Greek women, honorable, influential ones, and of men, not a few. That means many. Luke's got this way of saying many. He says not a few. Hos de egnosan, hoiapotes Thessalonikes, Jehudaioi, hotikai, entei beroiai, katengele, hypotu paulu, hologos tu tseu, ölton kake, saleuontes, kai tarasontes tu soklus. But as the Jews from Thessalonica heard or knew that also in Beroia was announced by Paul the word of the God, they came also there, stirring up, agitating, and troubling the crowds. Euteos de tote, don Paulon exapestelan hoiadel poi poreuestai heos epitern talassan. But immediately then, the brothers sent out Paul to be going as far as upon the sea. Hypemenante hote Silas kai hotimoteo seke. But both Silas and Timotheos remained there. Hoide gatistanontes ton Paulon ögagon heos aternon. But those setting forth Paulos, brought as far as Aternon, Aternae, Athens. Kai labontes entolern proston Silan, kai ton Timotheon, hina hostakista, eltosin prosauton, exöiesan. And having received a command to Silas and Timotheon that very quickly they should come to him, they were going forth. They were departing. En detai saturnai sec decomenoi, ec decomenu, ut autus tu Paulu. But in Aternae, expecting, of Paulos expecting them, while he was expecting them, paroexuneto to pneuma autu, he was sharpened of his spirit. His spirit was sharpened or provoked. And autoi theoruntos katedolon usan tön polin. Okay, his spirit in him was sharpened, seeing the city being full of idols. Dielegeto men un, en toi synagogoi tois, Jehudaios, kai tois sepomenois, kai en toi agorai, katapasan hömeran prostus paratyn kanontas. Therefore, on the one hand, he was reasoning in the synagogue of the Yehudim and with those devout ones, and in the market according to every day, to those meeting by chance. Dines de kai ton epikurion kai stoikon philosopon syneballon autoi. But some of the Epicurean and Stoikon philosophers were conversing with him. Gaitines elegon, and some were saying, Dian teloi, hospermologos hutos legen. And some were saying, what is this one wanting? What is this one who's multiplying words wanting to say, to be saying? Hoidet xenon daimonion doke katangeleo senai. But others were saying, foreign gods or demons he is thinking to announce to us. Hello. He is thinking to be a proclaimer. Foreign gods, he is seeming to be a proclaimer. Hotiton Yeshun kaitön anastasin evangelitzeto. Because Yeshua and the resurrection, he was preaching. He was announcing. Epilabomenoite autu. And having laid hands on him, epiton arion pagon, ergagon, they brought him upon the Areopagos, legontes, saying, Dynameta, gnonai, dis her keine haute her hyposu, la lumene didaker, saying, we are able to know what this new teaching from you is being spoken. What is this new teaching that you're saying? Xenizonta gardina es peres, esta sacoas hermon. For strange things, for entertaining strange things, some strange things es peres, esta sacoas hermon. Thou art bringing into our ears bulometa un gnonai tina tele tauta enai. Therefore, we are willing to know what things these things will to be. These things are wanting to be. What do these things want to be? Aternaioi depantes, kai hoi epidermuntes xenoi, e suden heteron, eukairun legeen, ti akuenti, kai noteron. But the Athenians, all of them, and those epidermuntes, the present strangers, into nothing else they have leisure, they are having leisure, rather than to be speaking something or to be hearing something new. States de Paulos en mesoi tu ariu pagu eper. Paulos having stood in the midst of the Areopagos was saying, Andres Aternaioi, men, Athenians, katapantahos desidaimonnesterus, humas theoro. According to all things, as very religious or revering gods, demons, revering things, I am seeing you. I am perceiving you. Dierkomenos, gar kai anateoron, ta sebasmata humon, heuron kai pomon en hoi epegegrapto, agnostoi theoi. For coming through and looking attentively, observing the objects of your worship, I found also an altar in which it is inscribed, it had been inscribed to an unknown God. Houn agnounte seusebete, tuto ego katangelo humin. What therefore ye not knowing worship or fear or are pious toward, this one I am announcing to you. Hoteos, hopoios, ton kosmon, kai pantata enautoie, the God, the one having made the world and all the things in it. Hutos uranu, kai superkon kyrios, uken keropoietois, naois katoike. This one, being Lord of the sky and earth, not in handmade temples he is dwelling. Ude hypokeron anthropinon therapeuetai prosteomenos ptinos. Neither of human hands is he being served, being in need of anything. Autos tidus pasin zoen kai pnoen kai tapanta. Himself giving to all life and breath and everything, all things. Epoia sente ex henos pan ethnos, anthropon katoikeen epipantos, pantos prosopu tes ges. And he made out of one every nation of men to be dwelling upon all the face of the earth. Horisas prostetagmenus kairus, kaitas horotesias tes katoikias auton. And he defined, he marked out, having marked out, he assigned times, having been assigned times and borders or boundaries of their dwelling. Zeten ton teon e arrage psela persea nauton kai heuroien. To be seeking the God. If, therefore, handling or groping out to him, also they might find. There you go. Listener, Yahweh God has arranged it that you should be living in your border, in your time, that you should have life for the purpose that you would be seeking God, that you would be reaching out to him in the hope of finding him. Are you doing that? Because he who seeks will find. Gaige makran apo henos hekastu hermon hyparkonta. And indeed, not far from each one of us, he is being. He is not far from each one of us. En autoi gar zomen, kai kinumeta, kai esmen. For in him we are living and moving and are. Hos kaitines ton katumas poieton. Erekasin tugar kai kenosesmen. As also some of your own poets have said, for of the one also we are family or a tribe. Genos un hyparkontes tu teu. Family therefore being of the God. Ukopelomen nomidzen crusoia, arguroia, litoia. We ought not to reckon in gold or in silver or in stone. Karagmati tekners, the thing sculpted of a trade, kai entumerseos anthropu, and man's thinking. Doteon enoi, doteon enai homoion, doteoi enai homoion. The God nature to be like. We should not think the God's nature is like gold or silver or stone or things that men have crafted. Τους men un chronus tes agnoias hyperidon hoteos ta nun apangele tois anthropois pantaku metanoen. Therefore, on the one hand, the times of ignorance, hyperidon, the God having overlooked, the now he is announcing, he is proclaiming to all men everywhere to be repenting, to be turning. Katoti Esther sen hermeran en höj melle krinen tön oiku menön en dikaiosunöj en andri hoi horisen. According to that, he hath appointed a day in which he is being about to be judging the inhabited earth in righteousness by a man who he has appointed. Pistin paraskon pasin anastasas auton eknekron. Assurance or faith or faithfulness having reached forth to all men, having raised him from dead ones. So he has proven himself in a way, and he has proven that he has chosen Yeshua to be the judge of the living and the dead by raising him from the dead. And that message has gone out through all peoples, so that you shouldn't think anymore that God, he's out there but he hasn't done anything to reveal himself. He can't be found. He can be found, and he has raised up Yeshua from the dead to show that he has chosen him as the one through whom he will judge all mankind. So, get with God's program. Get with the plan. Be believing and be turning to God and learning his ways. Because you know now, he is going to judge the earth. He is going to judge the living and the dead through this man Yeshua that he has marked out to all mankind by raising him from the dead ones. Akusantes de anastasin nekron hoimen ekleuadzon hoide epan akusometasu peritutu kaipalin. And having heard of the resurrection of dead ones, those on the one hand were mocking, but these or those others were saying, Akusometa su, we would hear of you concerning this also again. Hutos ho Paulos exulten ek mesu auton. And Paulos thus went out of their midst. Dineste andres tentes autoi episteosan. But certain men, having joined or glued to them, they believed, en hois kai Dionysios ho Areopagites, among whom also Dionysios the Areopagite, kai Gune onomati Damaris, and a woman Damaris by name, kai heteroi sunautois, and others with them.